What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we've got ourselves a three-part workout. Three 5-minute three 5-minute time caps. It's a time domain that I need to work generally more in because it's not a time domain I'm really good at. I mean, it's still a sprint in some people's minds, but it's not really a sprint. It's like the 800-meter worth of track, right? Like it's not really a 100-meter sprint, but it's not a 1 mile run. It's kind of in between. It's kind of that weird area. So on top of it, we've got ourselves a gentleman visiting. His name is Justin Rhodes. He's actually from up north, about 40 minutes up north, and he's been doing our Midwest Made programming pretty much since the beginning. So he's been getting a lot better, and he decided to come down and work out with me for the afternoon. So I had him come down. This workout, I kind of programmed this workout. The purpose of it is, as you're going to kind of see, is it's kind of a smattering of everything, right? Like there's push, there's pull, there's barbell, there's monostructural work, there's jumping, there's all sorts of different stuff. And so I programmed this to kind of get a feel for where he was at with everything. And as you're going to see, he's actually a really good athlete. He's really good in a lot of these areas, and you're gonna see that pretty quickly. So without further ado, let's actually jump right into it. We'll be talking about scaling options, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, and all sorts of good stuff along with it. So let's get rolling. So first off the bat, we've got ourselves a 5-minute time cap to do a 21:15:9 workout, a couplet of 21:59 of bike erg calories on the Concept 2 bike erg, and box jump overs at 36 inches, which you'll see the boxes here. Kind of the purpose of this workout is the first 5-minute AMRAP we did, and this is probably the workout where you don't have to stop, right? So some of these workouts you'll see that there's certain movements in them where you're going to be a little bit slower between round 1 and round 2, or you can stop and rest between because maybe you have muscle fatigue. This is a workout where you don't have to stop. This is essentially an open-esque workout, right? Like how good are you at holding a cal per hour pace for 21 calories, getting off of it, and then doing a really high box jump. And then coming back to the bike, how can you hold that pace conservatively, comparatively to your first round of 21? So first round 21, we're off about the similar times, and you're going to see us just start knocking out box jumps. 36 inches is like that weird height where you kind of have to almost step into it a little bit. You can kind of see I have like a half step. Justin has... he pretty much uses 1 foot to step back. He is 1 foot step in, whereas I'm kind of doing like a weird step to get in there, which I think is a little bit faster, but there obviously is some probability that because I'm not generating as much power with 1 step, I could hit the box, and you'll actually see that in my round of, I think, 15s, where I don't hit the box, but I miss my jump and have to redo it. So what we're kind of testing here is very open-esque. It's the concept of you don't have to stop any of these movements. You don't plan on stopping on the bike. You don't have to stop in 36 bounce jump over. How fast can you go? That's what I was trying to get at for this workout with him, is trying to see, okay, let's stress our bodies here. Let's breathe a little bit heavy, and then we'll go into some more skill stuff for time cap number 2 and time cap number 3. So done at the same time, getting back to the bike, we're going to kind of find out how hard can we hold this bike pace, which I'm going to let you know right now, it dipped hard. So for those of you at home that want to try this workout and you're thinking to yourself, how can I scale this workout? How can I do it if I'm a female? 21:15:9 for a female, if you're doing it, I would say probably drop the bike cals, because we didn't finish with it wasn't like we finished with a whole lot of time extra. I think a female can easily finish this at 21:15:9 cals, but I think you're gonna need to drop that box height a little bit. I'd probably say if it's 36 for males, whatever Wadapalooza it is, I think it was 30 inches for males, the box jump over, so I'd probably go with 30 inches for females. That's kind of what I recommend. For those of you scaling out that are males, I would probably, it depends on how you're trying to scale it, right? I would say as much as you can, try to do the workout in the 5-minute time cap. And if it takes you the full 5 minutes, then so be it. And you don't get done, because you're probably going to get near the 9 box jump overs, the 9 cal bike, before the time cap hits. So if you're a male and you're scaling it, I'd probably keep it the same. If the box jump height is the one thing I would scale for sure. So if it's too high for you, there's the one I failed right there. If it's too high for you, I'd recommend going for 30 inches. 30 inches is probably a pretty good scale option. And then for females, if the 30 inches is too high for your RX height, then I'd probably drop it to 24. It should be pretty easy. It's just 36 is kind of a weird height. Like you're not really sure if you should stack plates on a box or grab some jerk blocks, is what we did. So anyways, all right, so back for the 9s. It's kind of a hammer sesh. Like we got to get back to it. And Justin is, not putting down Justin's athletic capabilities whatsoever. He's keeping up, and he's doing a good job. And he's not like a lot of guys will come train with me and can't do box jumps that well. Maybe they didn't have an athletic background. Justin played football back in high school, and so he's pretty solid. Like, he's pretty good. And he's able to hold a pretty good bike cow place. Now, to caveat this, this is the first time he's ever touched a bike erg in a workout. Actually ever been on a bike erg. So it was actually very surprising to me, to be honest. He did a good job. So you can tell now he's cycling his speed a little faster. Instead of taking that step that he was doing, he's kind of rotating on the bottom. He's going a little bit faster than I am. And that's why we're going to get near the end here. And I think he's going to beat me out by a half a second. Essentially, his feet hit the ground half a second before mine. I think this is the last rep right here. Boom. So yeah, so same time, or he technically hit there first. So that's the first one, 5 minutes of bike erg cows and box jump overs. Now we're going to do a little more of a skilled workout. We got ourselves, again, a 5-minute time cap. And this time we are doing 5-minute time cap of 3 rounds to do, 3 rounds in 5 minutes to do 10 clean and jerks at 135 and 10 strict handstand push-ups. How can you cycle this barbell? And then how can you get back to the wall and do a push and a push? So it's going to be kind of an overtraining situation where there's still a push and there's another push with your body weight. This is what happens when you put 2 males together in the same room. Like, if you were like, hey, Jake, do this workout, I might have done it a little bit differently in the beginning. I might not have done it unbroken, but when you put 2 males in a room, and the same for females, put 2 competitive females in a room, they're probably going to go a little harder than they need to. So, did 10 unbroken. Clean and jerks, and then back for 10 unbroken strict handstand push-ups. I come to the bar, I realize I'm burned already. I'm an idiot. I think I did 2 touch and go reps, and then I drop it because I'm like, nope, not gonna do it. Can't do it. Falling apart. He comes back and it's smart. Justin comes back and starts doing singles, which I realized that is the way to go. Like, you can actually tell in that 3rd rep there, I thought about bringing it back down, but I didn't. So singles are the way to go if you're gonna be burned out. We've talked about that before in previous videos. Like, if you can't do touch and go, do singles. At this point in the workout, I realized I hated the plates I had chosen. If you watch the barbells hit the ground, watch his. Boom. It jumps up by 6 inches. Watch mine. Boing. I mean, we're talking like a foot. It goes a foot. So I'm trying to kind of write it down with my hands a little bit, as you can tell, and trying to lessen the bounds, and the plates all over the place. I should have put, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes, deader plates on if I was going to do singles, but I didn't think about that. I thought I was going to touch and go a majority of them, and I should have thought about that and realized I wasn't going to do that. So, for those of you doing this workout that are trying to scale this workout, first of all, if you can't do strict handstand push-ups, do kipping. If you can do strict handstand push-ups, but you don't feel like super ultra comfortable, then do 5 and 5. Do like 5 strict handstand push-ups, 5 kipping. You still should practice strict handstand push-ups even if you can't do them. 135 should be a pretty light weight for you males. It should be a weight that you could do the first 10 unbroken. If you can't do 10 unbroken clean and jerks 135, then go down and wait and do 115 or 195. The first weight should be unbroken. You should be able to do it unbroken if you had to. I'm not saying you have to do it unbroken. So therefore, just choose a weight accordingly. Save for females, right? So if you're doing 95 pounds and you're like, this is too heavy, I need to break it up into singles in the first round, then choose an according weight where you can do it unbroken if you had to. I'm not saying you have to do it. So this workout's actually quite a bit faster than the first one, just because the cycle speed is a little bit quicker for some of these reps. Other scaling options for this workout, the weight you can scale, the reps I'd say the same. So I would keep it 3 rounds of 10 and 10. Keep that the same, but then change the stimulus in the fact of, strict handstand push-ups to kipping handstand push-ups, or, changing the weight for the clean and jerk. I will say this, that if you can't do kipping handstand push-ups, can't do strict, can't do kipping, then just do a push-up to an elevated box. Your feet are elevated in a box, and you're doing a push-up from the ground. It's a simple change. I mean, that's a hard move to do. I would rather do strict handstand push-ups. So, finishing up here, Justin has actually really good strict handstand push-ups. I think he got burned out for the overhead on the clean and jerk, but his actual strict handstand push-ups, even in his final round, is honestly much better looking than mine. Only change I would make would bring his feet in a little bit, but other than that, he's got great strict handstand push-ups. I'm not going to complain about that whatsoever. So, that's that workout. We finished a little bit quicker. We're going to rest 3 minutes. I guess I forgot to mention that. We rested 3 minutes between each one. So now we're back for the third 5-minute AMRAP. This one is a similar format to the second one, where we're going to be doing 3 rounds of 10 devil's press at 50 pounds in a hand, and then 3 rope climbs. So the first, it's kind of a push and a pull to a degree. The devil's press kind of has a pull and a push in it. So Looking back, maybe I should have changed this one and the second one around and maybe done the bike and the box mover in between to give our arms a little bit of a break, because this one really started to blow. It was really more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be an easy one. Honestly, I thought all of these were you can easily accomplish in 5 minutes. First one, I was correct. Second one, I was correct. Third one, you will find out that I pretty dang close, but I don't think I do not finish it, and I can't remember exactly how far I get right now off the bat. So this workout, if you're going to scale this workout, the things I'd recommend is your devil's press right there should take about a minute. It should take about a minute to go. I can do 12 devil's press in a minute, but then I'm pretty blown. So you should choose a weight for the devil's press. You can do 10 in a minute. I would say stick to the rep scheme for the devil's press, so do 10. If you're a male and you're like, okay, well, I got to break up 10 devil's press at 50 pounds, then do 35s. If you're a female and you're like, I can't do 35s for 10 unbroken, cool, do 25s or 20s, whatever that needs to be. Then the rope climb is the one movement I would say scale the reps, because it is such a long rep that I would say scale it accordingly. So if you're like, it should take you about 30 to 40 seconds to do 3 rope climbs. Obviously, in the beginning, it's going to be 30 seconds, and then near the end, it's going to be longer. So if you can't do 3 rope climbs in 30 to 40 seconds when you're not tired, then I would recommend doing 2, and again, they're 15-foot rope climbs. So, yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on that. This workout was a kind of a stinky one to end at because it was a lot of arms, like I mentioned in the second part, and then a lot of arms in the third part. One thing Justin did mention to me that you'll see him do, kind of a difference between our devil's press, is if you watch him, brings it up, he doesn't really bring it down very smooth. He kind of tries to bring it to his hip. He almost brings it to his shoulder and then skips his hip and brings it down. Where if you watch me, it's a little bit of a slower descent where I'm trying to bring it down a little bit smoother. Whereas when he brings it down, it's almost forced, and it looks like he's having to reset his hands every time. So watch his hands. Or maybe that time it wouldn't do it. Let's watch the next one. He's been resetting it every time except for that one, I guess. See how he has to almost bring it back in, whereas mine's kind of set at the bottom. So yeah, there is a difference in the way you do the negative part of the bringing back down of the devil's press. So he actually asked me at the end of the workout, how do you bring it back down? And honestly, like a lot of people don't think about that. When they do devil's press, they tend to think, okay, well, how do I get up to the top? And that's all that matters. And sure, if you're doing singles for a clean and jerk or a snatch, that is all that matters. You might just drop it every time. Dumbbells, you can't, right? Usually in a competition, you can't just drop the dumbbells on the top and ghost them. That's not a legal move. And so you need to find a way to bring it back down to the ground nicely. And also because a barbell is easy to do singles because it's all connected. Whereas because the dumbbell's isolated, the two separate pieces of equipment, you have to line them up every time. So you can't let it fall to the ground. An entity will bounce together, but 2 separate entities are going to move away from each other. So it's easier to lay it down on the ground and not waste your time. So bring it down. You'll see me actually kind of slow the concentric part down and bring it down slowly, which I think works for me. I like it because it allows me to save my back. Like it slows it down. Whereas when he comes down, it's kind of just like a yard sale. Like I'm going to yard sell it down. Now, I'm going to caveat and say this, like there's nothing wrong with the way he does it. It's just a different way of doing devil's press. If I was doing 10 devil's press for time, I might do it his way. But because we're doing 30, I don't want my back to blow up. Therefore, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to slow it down a little bit. But yeah, if I'm doing 10 for time or a small amount for time, I might do it his way. Now, you can actually tell his ending devil presses, like this last set of devil's presses, is actually a lot different than his first set. Like you can tell he's actually bringing it down to his legs, which is a little bit different than what I do. He's actually like hitting his legs with it, which is okay. I just bruise yourself after a while. Whereas I'm just kind of swinging it through. But yeah, there's differences in it. There's advantages and disadvantages to both. Personally, I don't like the way he's doing it. I would never do it that way unless I was trying to do like super as fast as I possibly can. The way I'm doing it is a little bit slower, but I know that I've done it hundreds of reps this way, and I know I can continue to do it this way. Now let's watch me. I have like 12 seconds left the rope climb. I believe I get 1, and then I get partially up the second one, and then time stop. So I can't see for those of you guys watching it, I cannot see the clock at this moment. The clock's actually over in the corner. He can see it, but I can't. So I just decided to finish the rep. So solid workout. Now for those of you guys that try this workout, I kind of present some scaling options for the guys. honestly, these 3 workouts back to back to back with 3 minutes rest between is a good solid test, like I mentioned, as a smattering of movements. You pretty much got everything. It's what I kind of use. Workouts like this is what I kind of do with people that come train with me because I want to see, okay, where are they at? Like, is there complete holes in their game? Where can they fix certain areas? For Justin, he actually mentioned it to me in the beginning, is he actually mentioned, my lower back tends to blow up on me in certain movements, and this is one of those movements. Like, his lower back blew up a little bit, and it might come down to how he does the devil's press. But overall, I thought Justin did a great job. I mean, honestly, overall, I thought he did an amazing job. Like, beat me in the first workout. And that came down to just his cycle speed of box jump overs at the final 9 rounds. Everything else up to the point there, we were kind of in sync, and then he kind of pulled away at the last round. His strict handstand push-ups are great. His clean and jerk, he would have caught up a little bit more if he had done probably the first set unbroken. He'd been a lot closer, but overall, that did freaking amazing. And then, of course, his rope climbs and the devil's press. I mean, I think that comes into muscle fatigue. Like I mentioned, the second workout was a lot of upper body. The third workout was a lot of upper body because they dovetailed right into each other. Kind of stinks. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, put them down below. Make sure to get back to you. Other than that, have a great day. We'll talk to you guys later. See ya.